Hello, EDUC 519 scholars. We have reached an excellent transition in this course where you are starting to critically look for and evaluate research that will be used for your literature review and your research proposal. So that starts with our first research article summary assignment that you have this week. I've received some questions from students relating to this assignment, so I wanted to just do this little video to help everyone benefit from the questions and answers that I've received. So first thing is just to be clear about the assignment details. All you're going to need to do for this assignment is just write a summary of the rationale for the article that you find. Be sure to find the research questions that the authors cite. Also include a summary of their method, which is their settings, participants, data collection, data analysis. And really it's the data collection and data analysis piece that help to clue you into a quantitative research study. So if they're collecting data related to numerical values such as test scores, averages, even looking at pre-post growth over amount of time, or reporting on some survey results, things like that can all be quantitative data. And when you're looking at the data analysis, don't worry too much about understanding the statistics behind the analysis that the authors are using. Just state the data analysis method that they're using for purposes of this paper. Next, you'll also report on the summary and findings that the authors illustrate in their writing. And lastly, the implications for classroom practice and/or research. So one thing I want to be clear on is that you need to make sure that you should completely remove yourself and remove your own ideas from the summary portion of the paper. All of that summary portion needs to be the author's own voice. That doesn't mean that you just use direct quotes for every single little thing that you're looking at, but you should be summarizing and paraphrasing the author's voice in your summary. You can follow up and include a paragraph at the end that does give your own opinions, especially about how this article relates to the research that you're proposing, but save that for the very end and don't interject your voice early on in the summary. You'll see down here my helpful tips for writing the research article summary. And additionally, I'm going to provide a sample assignment. A student has asked to be able to view a sample, and so I wanted everyone to benefit from that. And you'll see that I've uploaded a sample assignment along with this announcement for you all to benefit from. So one other area that I wanted to address was how to go about finding quantitative research for not only this assignment, but for your literature review that you're going to be working on in weeks to come. So of course we'll start with Google Scholar. I always like to start my search for literature on Google Scholar. So on scholar.google.com, we'll look to see and look to use our same search term that we've already been using. So my search term was technology in mathematics education. And all I need to do is add one word to this, quantitative. By adding the word quantitative to my search term, I'll be able to find research that is a quantitative method. Google Scholar will find that for me. So I also am always going to update my time frame. I'll just go ahead and use the year 2000 as a good starting point. And what you'll see is that you'll find articles that probably do have quantitative somewhere in the title. Like this one, a quantitative comparison of effectiveness. So that would be a quantitative study. If I keep going down, I see another one, a summary of the quantitative results. That clues me into that this is definitely a quantitative study. So I might be interested in this article, One-to-One Computing, a summary of the quantitative results from the Berkshire Wireless Learning Initiative. So if I am still not convinced by the title, I can always go in and take a look at the article itself. This one's nice because it comes from Eric, so I can definitely download the full text. And what I want to look for in the article is down in the results section. So I'll have to scan down to get to the results. And in the results, if you're starting to see a lot of graphs that help to display the data, or even tables that have numerical data included, that definitely helps you recognize that it is a quantitative study. So use that extra word in your search term and you'll definitely find some quantitative articles to summarize. One other thing that I wanted to quickly go over was what to do on Google Scholar when you're having a hard time finding research or literature that's free. So even though on Google Scholar, a lot of times, yes, you're going to find articles that you have to pay for. What we can do is quickly just take an example, and the example that I wanted to pull up was this one right here. Technology integration barriers, urban school mathematics teachers' perspectives. I just happened to notice that when I pulled up this article, it did want me to pay for reading it. But what we have to our advantage is our NMSU library. So here's where I use both Google Scholar and NMSU library together to help out in a search for literature. All we need to do is copy the title, go to the library, and we want to search the title in quotes. So by putting quotes around the title on the search, that's when the library is going to find that exact article for me. And if we're lucky, that article will be available online through the NMSU library. So this one is one that I definitely want to look into and use for my own literature review. If I go ahead and pick EBSCOhost as the portal, I'll just do a quick validation of my NMSU credentials and validate those credentials in order to get to the article. So again, even though Google was making you pay for it, because you're an NMSU student, you can definitely find a lot of this stuff that is still available to you. Since I found this on EBSCOhost, I'll just drag over really quickly to show that I can download the full PDF text for free. And of course, it's not free, but NMSU has already paid that fee for you. So I'll download this one also to use for a future time on my literature review. The last thing that I wanted to recommend to everybody in relation to our research article summary is that when you are working on your research article summary, if you haven't already read the chapter that we have assigned for this week, I would recommend that you at least do a skim reading of the chapter. It will help you understand the quantitative research design a little bit more, especially if you're unfamiliar with it. It'll help you understand some of the language that might be used in the article that you're summarizing. So don't feel like you have to read the whole chapter before the summary, but do at least skim read it so that it can help and benefit you when you're doing your summary. Then you might go back for a deeper read of the chapter to write your chapter summary, but if you wait until after to read the chapter, you might regret it and you might wish that you would have read it before this article summary. So happy reading and happy summarizing. If you have any further questions about this assignment or locating literature, please do let me know. I am only an email away. Thanks.